Yeah. And so I know Candace shared with you the 3 questions, and really a lot of this, what we're doing with the testimonials is we've had some crazy success around this program. Like we interviewed Reshma. I don't know if you talked about this, and she was sharing that she ended up getting just crazy funding herself for her innovation program based on her playbook. And and the thing I realized, like, geez, we're doing a lot, but we rarely hear the full story, right? And so just the 3 questions, just starting out. If you think back to, if you go back to when we first talked about the innovation leadership coaching program, what was the problem that you were dealing with at that time when you were going through the program? What was the big challenge that you were grappling with organization?
It's interesting. I was looking at that question. I was trying to figure out what it was. I don't know that there was a big problem. I think maybe from a human options perspective, it was like a big curiosity around how we could do our work differently. And so by the time I did the coaching program with you, we'd already had that sort of design thinking workshop with the staff members. And so I saw like that there was something there and people getting really excited about it. I saw it as an opportunity to get really curious about how we do our work differently. And so for me, I think I was just really curious as to like how to lead through that and what things needed to be in place to be able to get there.
Yeah. So if you think about how did you see the program helping you solve that curiosity or go deeper into that curiosity?
Yeah. One is because I'm a learner, for me to be able to truly lead through something, I need to understand it and kind of see what components would be in there. And so the coaching program for me helped me unpack those things I didn't know. And then also just get really clear on there's some coding that needed to happen, right? I think in the for-profit sector, you look at innovation programs one way and coaching toward innovation looks one way. In the nonprofit sector, in a lot of ways, we're always innovating and we're always trying to make things work, but it was sort of marrying both the language of innovation, the language of nonprofit, and then trying to come up with a right model with which we would engage in this work.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. I'm going off script for a second because I just think about.
No, I practiced these 3.
No. I'm just you're jogging my memory through when we went into the coaching program. And I'm curious for you, what was the aha moment for you as you went through the program?
That's funny. I think it was when it came down to breaking down the innovation playbook and realizing there's like a huge knowledge gap between between sort of this for-profit model, and I'm saying for-profit not because I think that's predominantly where I've seen it play out, and like how it was really like, oh, we have a team that does this, and there's like it's infused with all these resources, and the language is just completely different than anything the nonprofit sector has talked about. But then when we got buddied up with someone, and then being able to share what I was grappling with and then having them reflect it back was helpful. Just to coach on like that. I think it helped me see that the 2 worlds weren't really that far apart. Our product is just a little bit different. But at the end of the day, a better experience for our stakeholders is like a better experience for customers. And so just kind of switching that language out really helped.
What was interesting with yours, personally, I mean, I'm being very honest with you. Your playbook and your capstone presentation was the best out of that cohort and out of, I would say, all of the cohorts that we've had. And I'm curious, I know you went through a lot to get it done. What was that experience like for you? Like just getting the playbook ready and the pressure, like you put yourself under a lot of pressure that I didn't expect you to do that. I was like, oh crap. But
I know, you're like, what did I do? Yeah. I think I normally kind of work hard at understanding something anyway, and that's just sort of a process for me. it did feel like mental gymnastics, right? To try and like kind of go back and forth, especially because internally, as I didn't really have sort of that sounding board, right? I had you as a sounding board, but like internally on the staff, is I think I was also sort of trying to then break it down to some bite size for the staff members I was interacting with and asking questions about, and then like elevating back up. And then so I think there were definitely some nights where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm failing this project. I have no idea what I'm doing. But then it all started to kind of fall together once I realized, and maybe this is the aha moment, right? Once I realized that a lot of what we'd uncovered in the retreat with staff and that sort of introductory thing with the staff actually was still very valid. It had been, I think it had been 6 months before. And then when I realized where to insert that, then I could build from there. So that I think, then it got easier. But then I realized, like when I presented the capstone project, there's a lot, like it was a very emotional experience in a lot of ways, because I think realizing, oh, this could be really big for us to be able to do this work. So
it's very innovative. And I think your example just shows that innovation is not just about leading with technology, but it's really about leading with people.
yeah.
Right? It's like, that's pretty powerful. So what was the final result? Like, what was the outcome of putting your playbook together and then being able to leverage it?
Yeah. So I don't remember if I shared this with you, but I remember sharing it with somebody after I was like, this is pretty exciting, because I felt like I had a really good foundation. And so that was finding the right place to pitch the opportunity. And I think as one of our supporters, who's a mentor as well, I remember telling him, I'm like, I just need to get in front of the right audience. And I think this could be pretty cool. So, I mean, I think it was like, what, a year and a half later, I got some outreach on like, hey, we're looking for nonprofits who are looking at something innovative. And do you have anything, and thought of you, do you have anything in mind? And I was like, wow, man, well, thank you for asking. Let me like dust off my innovation playbook. But it was just really being ready for that opportunity. And even in being ready, there was still some refinements I had to do based on some, passage of time. But it was huge. I mean, we've now got a pretty good investment to kick off the program, right? I mean, I think, and that's huge. I mean, we've got like the $1 million investment now, and then with opportunity for more money down the road, which is just a game changer for us.
Yeah, you have no idea how humbling just that whole process is for me.
Yeah.
In terms of what you try to do. And I just remember me, you, and Jenny, we sat down over at
Yeah.
like, ooh, and I think we were like, ooh.
Yeah. And Jenny's like, well, who just has an innovation playbook sitting around? I'm like, well, that would be me. I know.
I love it. So,
yeah. She's like, wait a minute, what's that? Yeah. So it's very exciting. Yeah.
So maybe just to close out, what advice would you give to other innovation leaders in terms of building a playbook and really investing in innovation leadership?
Yeah. I think I would say, right, that it's a good we often think about taking a step back and reflecting. And I think most people will agree, especially when you're in a leadership role, how important that space in between is, to kind of go, okay, like, where are we at? And to think about visioning. And I think for me, the innovation playbook was more of if I could totally start something new and fresh without totally uprooting the core of the organization, right? But if I could just introduce something that would change how we look at the issue and how we think about solving it, that was really big. But it requires a step back. And I think it goes back to what you said, what the process was like for me is having homework, having something to present. I think really forced me to carve out time, forced me to be clear about like what this could do for us. And then like, because I'm so clear about it, I think allows for me to be really excited about it, and it gets other people excited because there's that clarity.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Well, anything else before we wrap up?
I think that's it. It's really, really, like, I enjoyed it a lot. And I think I still kind of go back to some of the resources you shared, which have been pretty cool. So, yeah.
Thank you, Maricela. I'm gonna
Thank you.
stop.